So you might have heard about a game called skatenationxl. You might have heard about it in a good way or a not so good way, because there are some controversies around the game with the studio behind it not paying work from developers and so on, but not sure if all of this is even true, so we put all of this aside and just look at the game. And this has been revealed quite some time ago already. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago even. And since then, the only thing we heard from the studio on their socials was soon. Soon you will see gameplay, soon you can get your hands on the game, soon we will launch a demo. And I thought, okay, maybe soon this can mean everything, but I did not expect it to launch this week. But indeed, it happened, and now we can finally experience skatenationxl ourselves. You can already see some gameplay in the background, and I think if you have played skateboarding games before, you can see it pretty clear that this looks like a spiritual successor to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And spoiler alert, that's also how it plays. So you can only play the demo on the Epic Games Store, unfortunately. The game is also listed on Steam, but over there you cannot play the demo. But when the game launches, it will also be available on Steam. So it will be on the Epic Games Store and on Steam. And according to the developers, approximately 3 months after the PC release, we will also see a release for consoles. And overall, this one, even though it's just a demo, it seems more polished than I had expected, especially since the devs kept saying we will see something soon, 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 and so on. So I didn't expect too much from it, but it actually worked pretty well. I just ran into a few issues. First of all, my PlayStation controller didn't work on it. Usually I play skateboarding games with the PlayStation controller because I think it works better than the Xbox One. And the huge problem is that every time I close the game, I cannot start it anymore because it just keeps getting stuck in the loading screen. And then I have to uninstall the demo, which is about 6 GB in size, and have to reinstall it to be able to play the game again. It was just released on Monday, so it's only been a few days, and I think the devs will still fix this. You can already customize your skater if you want to, with a lot of clothing and hairstyle, and unfortunately you cannot customize your board. I don't know why they didn't do this. I mean, you can select different completes, but you cannot choose the parts of your board separately, which is something I actually would expect in a skateboarding game. So this is a bit disappointing, but it's just a demo. So I'm hoping that this is work in progress and they will add it for the full release. And also for those looks and for the customizations, I wish they would have went with something that is closer to real life skateboarding and not so much over the top, like you can see right here. What's not in the game yet, but it is connected to these cosmetics, are NFTs and blockchain. So that's not in the demo right now, but in the full game it will be part of it. So it will be the first skateboarding game with NFTs and blockchain technology. If this is something you want or not, for me it's usually something I don't want in a game, but I thought I gonna give it a shot and see if it's at least a good game. And if you don't want this, if you don't like this, you might not want to play this game. If you don't care, definitely give it a go. There are several modes in the demo already. So there is a single player mode that splits up into a career mode, which is, I think, pretty much like Tony Hawk. So you have a time limit and you have to complete different challenges within this time. Then you have a trick mode where you just get specific tricks that you have to make, and then you get more and more levels the more you complete. Then you have a score mode where your goal is just to achieve the high score, and then you have a free mode where you can just freely roam around on the 2 maps that are available. There will be more maps, I think, in the full release of the game, but right now in the demo we have 2 maps. One is Shanghai at night and the other one is the Taj Mahal. And in addition to this, there is also a multiplayer mode already where you can play with or against other skaters. So in the lobby you just freely skate with others, and in showdown you compete against others. So there's quite some content already in this demo, which is actually surprising as well. And yeah, when you get into the game, I would say it feels pretty much like a Tony Hawk's game. The controls are pretty much the same. So you have the A, B, X and Y buttons that are assigned to different types of tricks. So you hold the B button while you are in the air and hold the stick into a certain direction, you do a grab, and that's the same for the grinds, but here you hold the Y button. So if I remember correctly, there was the exact same thing in the Tony Hawk's games. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And I think that's why it just feels like a spiritual successor. And that's also what makes this game feel so incredibly arcadey. It has the speed, it has the simple controls, it has the similar map design. You also have this balance meter for doing the manuals and for doing grinds, and you have the trick lining and the combos and everything, and trying to get the high score and the score multiplier. And it brings back a little bit of my childhood as well, of the childhood feeling. But what I gotta say is that I really had problems in the first few minutes of playing this game to adapt to these controls again. It felt so normal for me when I was a kid, but now after playing Skate and playing Skater XL and playing Session with their a lot more realistic and especially in Skate a lot more intuitive controls, these controls that skatenationxl has feel a little bit outdated. But I'm not sure if that's just me or if it's really a concept and a control concept that is outdated for the time now. Let me know in the comments below if you play the demo what you think about this, if this is something you can adapt to a lot easier, or if this is something you have problems with as well and that you feel like it's outdated as well. But aside from that, once I got used to it, once I got the hang of it again, it felt really good. And once I got into a good flow, it was a good experience. An arcadey experience, of course, but a good one, and I can just highly recommend to try it out and see if you like it as well. I think especially if you like the Tony Hawk games and if you like arcade skateboarding games, and maybe even if you're missing the Tony Hawk feeling, try out skatenationxl over on the Epic Games Store. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. That always helps me to grow this channel. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.